quite a few challenges ahead of themselves. Tomorrow they're going up against XOXO01, who are currently they're in a race for the top spot right now. EXO sitting at 4-0, Reject sitting at 3-0, and neither team wants to flinch before they clash tomorrow. So we'll see if Reject are able to get the dub here, come out with a dominant win over the Burgers. Don't drop a map, don't give them an inch. You can give them the Raccoon as a treat and have it look like they want it. They want it really badly.
Ooh, the Burgers really want that rocket. Oh, whoa, whoa,
no.
Dino first.
No. No. Don't do that. Don't, no.
Dan's
Not
crashing
against Rejects? No. All right, so where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
What? What are these bans?
All right, well, I'll bring a ban onto the Rocket and a protect onto the Gambit. So, no amp for you at all, Burgers. You're cooked, all right? You're like, well, I don't even know where you go from here.
You kidding me? All right, everybody, welcome to the the first one-sided Gambit of week 2 Asia. We're gonna update the percentages. We'll get them back to you as soon as we can. We'll let you know how many teams. Actually, you know what? There's a chance here. Can Burgers be the first team? Is it safe to say the first team in Ignite to win against one-sided Gambit? Has anybody beaten it? Has anybody beaten it yet?
I want to say some teams have beaten it in North America, but it's only because like too many teams have been letting it through. I'm looking at you, NRG. NRG have gotten a couple of map wins and been given that one up a couple of times, but it's not consistent. Like, I think it's more of a theory than it is a law right now, and the law is being dictated entirely by Reject in this pick and ban phase. They're going to protect the Jean Grey next, and if you're the Burgers, like, okay, you got the double dino and you got the ban onto the Black Cat and the Star-Lord, that's a good start, but there's so many other things that you're gonna have to worry about. A ban onto the Rocket is being hovered right now. This last protect is gonna be load-bearing for your team comp. I don't even know what you pick at this stage, and I sure hope they do.
Oh, this is gonna be very interesting. Let's try to break this down though. It's looking like Reject won the ban phase, but let's break it down from the Burgers' perspective. What have they nullified? Okay, let's see. Reject can't play the Black Cat, can't play Star-Lord. So even if they got Gambit, they can't get that Rage and Royal Flush combination with the Galactic Legend. No Galactic Flush today. They don't have the Rocket either. They don't have Dino. Honestly, it's still pretty good in favor of the Burgers, and they do get one-sided Black Cat. So the question is here, can Reject just fully force Gambit to amplify any other crazy composition? Because right now, we're talking about the 3 best in slot heroes on our screen right now, all protected. The Burgers have 2 of them, but Reject have the one big boy, Gambit. I don't know.
I also kind of think that ban onto the Rocket from the Burgers is a little bit of a wasted ban, if I'm being completely honest with you, because you already got the Gambit through if you're Reject. Like, you weren't going to play the Rocket anyway. Those are the 2 heroes that kind of like jockey for position depending on who does or doesn't make it through the ban phase. 99% of the time, it's the Gambit that gets banned, and this is the 1% where you're probably not going to see the Rocket come out from Reject anyway, so maybe you could have used that on something like the Luna Snow, because you've also given up the Luna Snow White Fox team up to the other side as well, so, Reject, they get pretty much the perfect backline with Gambit, White Fox, Luna, whatever you want. You got all of it. You also have the Rogue that gets through as well. Yaki, sure, he doesn't have the Black Cat, but he's also got the Daredevil, which we've seen just how good he can be at this hero. And then you didn't ban the Phoenix either, so Brownie has that. So I hate to spoil the show, but when you look at Reject's comp, there are going to be no surprises. And when you look at the Burgers, they're going to be looking mighty tasty, I'll tell you that much.
I just want to give a quick shout out, of course, to everybody out here farming their drops, getting those Ignite drops, getting all those Twitch drops as they can, of course, and all the co-streamers out there. Shout out also Dan's co-streaming right now, currently crashing out as we speak, as he is absolutely livid that a Gambit was let through on Ignite Asia. But
we're a live Dan reaction cam going up in the upper left corner there.
Can we get the Dan reaction cam? Can we get Dan on the mic real quick? We'll see. I'm sure Dan's probably a bit relieved that this didn't happen in an XOXO game, but nonetheless, let's rip into it. Let's see how it is. Oh, wounds with the first pick taken out. Yaki, down goes the lawyer right there. Unfortunately, court is not in session, but pressure and power is how the Burgers are going to play this one with the advantage. 6v5 for now. Going to try to claim that high ground. Going to rotate around to the mission area and start up their capture. It's on Reject to start up the contest themselves right now. A very tough position for themselves because they don't have the Dino to contest on the forward front right there. Look, you got a bit of van pool, but it's very limited right now. The Burgers have a lot more space they can cover with that barrier from the Devil Dinosaur as well.
Wounds was just taking a beating that whole time. Lastro on the flank there with the self-snowflake, putting in the damage. Is going to be brought down, but now that Yaki is back into the fight, it's going to be a good old-fashioned dive off, and 2 beats 1 every time as Yaki goes in with the rogue by his side, bursts him down, and now Scrappy going to be next up. And I mean, it's just Gargoyle and Yaki just running roughshot one after the other, picking their targets, running them down, ganking them in a dark alleyway, taking their lunch money. Oh, there's going to be another one now, and Highbolical, your life is on the clock, my friend, and clock strikes midnight. Reject are going to find the flip, giving up 38% to the Burgers. That's not nothing, but it ain't a whole lot.
They did take their lunch money, but luckily the Burgers did get to spend a little bit of lunch money and at least get the patty. It's on them now to maybe get the lettuce, get the tomatoes. What else do we put? Sammy, what do you put on your burger?
I'm a big fan of like cheese and a good like chipotle aioli.
Ooh. Okay. A little bit of sauce. I like that. We love sauce. And speaking of the sauce right now, Yaki got it right now with the mark right there, taking out a bit of that Black Cat presence on the sky now. Trying to deny the engage, again countering that diving area as they're trying to stage for their team. Oh, what a freeze! Lastro, you're insane! Taking on the void, denying the Black Cat, following suit. Wounds falls as well to Brownie. Marksmanship of the Phoenix right there. Piggy gets a big, Yaki gets a big. So good. They were taking a piece of each other right now. This team, Reject, they share in the glory right now. No Hexacare. It's all of them taking out the entirety of Burgers right there. What a clean counterfight.
Yeah, and it's just off of the Raging Royal Flush from Sunghoon, right? Like, you don't need more than that. They didn't even combo it with another ultimate because you don't have to. The damage is just so overwhelming with the Daredevil getting in there and with Brownie just hitting the shots on the Phoenix, the sparks building up. It's just too much, and you really just don't have a way to deal with it. Now the Endsong Inferno are going to come out, and oh, it is going to be a sweet as Yaki is going in there and getting all the cleanup. There's a flip coming out, but as the contest comes out from Rejects, Navoy is going to be able to find Brownie slipping, and maybe Burgers can mount something off the back of that. But again, that's only one ultimate forced out, and in the neutral, Lastro just getting in there with more damage coming out. Light and Dark Ice still lodged in Navoy's frontal cortex, and as the Burgers are mounting up a reasonable ult advantage, they still have to try and find a way to get to the point, and Reject are going to take the fight right to them.
Oh, into the Crocodile borders we go, everybody on the other side of chaos through the double dances of the Lunar Snows, the fate of all four worlds today with the slashes coming out from Piggy right there, trying to get that Banhammer going, trying to get that boundary nullified. Highbolical does get that up though, does bring the power, and there goes Gargoyle going in, trying to be a heartbreaker and breaking up all of the scrambles, the fights. They're all going in favor right now of the boxing glory right here. Yaki as well. It's just bang for bang right here coming out from Reject as they take the Burgers down one after another. Triple down for the big Daredevil Yaki right there. Bit of a contested ticker overtime from Moons. Is it enough though to trigger the portal from Highbolical? That might have been a clutch sacrifice.
It might be. We'll see if it comes through. Yes, it does. At the last possible second, 1 frame left, a pixel of overtime left, and Burgers are going to have to cling to it for dear life. Sunghoon is not there, but will be joining in the fight. And a nice ante from downtown. Just collapse RF, and Lastro doing the very same. And Reject are going to take this first point, and I'll give credit where credit is due. Burgers did manage to get a good amount of percentage there, and did manage to find the flip at one point, but how much of that was Reject playing with their food?
I mean, depends. It really, really depends, you know, how they prefer their burgers. Maybe they prefer them, you know, double stacked like Navoy out here. We don't know. We gotta be careful.
Smashed at this stage, I would say.
A bit of true, yeah. Maybe medium rare. Some want a bit of cuisine. Maybe Piggy prefers it differently. We don't know. Gargoyle, as we know, prefers to, you know, break up the pieces, deny the chances.
Have you ever had a Wisconsin-style butter burger?
What is that?
It's exactly. It's just a burger that's like covered in butter. Like it's cooked in butter. It's just exactly what it sounds like. It will clog your arteries right up, but the hospital trip I think alone is worth it.
Is that deep fried in butter? How is that cooked?
It's just like pan seared, you know, but with like some butter on top,
okay,
and using butter instead of oil. I mean, butter and oil. They're both fats. Like
that's fine, yeah. But hey, two different. Some people make butter with omelets instead of oil. Depends.
Yeah, that's right. Butter it's delicious. It's flavor.
I like canola oil. Canola oil is nice.
Let's talk a little bit more about the burgers that are currently in front of us that Rejects are currently staring down. And Gargoyle, again, committing to a little bit more smashing and Scrappy is going to be taking down Navoy as well, and that is a failed flank coming out from the Burgers, and Reject, once again, just playing with their food.
Listen, if I'm, you know, I go out one night, I go to the burger restaurant, I have a good feed, and I go off in an alleyway, and somebody's trying to jump me, I hope that I have Yaki and Gargo by my side, because they can throw hands. And they are literally catching the Burgers in any off angle they can and absolutely throwing fists to their face and absolutely just going for those Burgers right now. Absolutely going crazy and just denying so much time for the Burgers to set up. The Burgers, they get ults, they get timing, they get staging, but immediately Reject just change the fight back to their pace. And that's what's going to happen when you have the Gambit. As much as you try to get a lead, Gambit's going to bring their ult charge back up, going to allow them to fight again. Gonna allow them to fight even in the neutral with just one Royal Flush right there. And Sunghun is absolutely clean on the Gambit right now, bringing all that value to Reject. And already 50% is gonna be close for Reject, but Burgers though, they got the ults now. It's time for them to show something.
Yeah, even though it looks kind of dark in that fight for the Burgers, they do kind of come out ahead a little bit there, but Navoy gets frozen up there by Lastro, and yeah, it just turns right back on its head. Reject again in the driver's seat. I was gonna say, like, you know, when Sunghun has that Raging Royal Flush, you're not gonna win that fight. All you can really try to do is bleed it out and build up to your own ult bank, and Burgers do successfully do that, but if they keep getting caught out on the flank and they can't actually pinch Lastro, it's just not gonna work out in their favor. They keep trying to go for back caps as well, so they're not even taking a full fight at 6. Galactic Legend on one side, but Yaki just going in, no ult needed on the other, and just deletes Hybolical. Now as the Devil is going to be let out and Wounds being brought back down to earth. A nice little Blaster Barrage for some spare damage, but Rejects are more than happy to take this fight as Yaki is taking the fight to the backline again, and Gargoyle is there! And again, this two-man hit squad, they take down RF. Navoy getting taken down again by Lastro, felled by his old nemesis, and this is just curtains for Burgers. I don't know what's left at this stage. 88% Reject fully in the driver's seat, still with also their name, and Sunghun coming up on another Raging Royal Flush. It's going to have to be a portal play from the Burgers, but they're going to be teleporting themselves right out of the frying pan and right into the fire.
Now this is the moment where things heat up. This is the last moment overtime. Reject, can they secure the map? Can they take the first map in this series? Or are the Burgers going to show up and bring a little bit of sauce to the action right now? A bit of dueling right there. Yaki, and of course, Wounds is taken down. Silo down, Veds down. That's going to be the power of Gargoyle. You got to be careful. They're just the Quantum Entanglement team up right there. It's just too strong. It's just too strong. Rogue is literally undeniably an insane threat in Ignite. When you have that Gambit, you turn Rogue from what people consider D tier into S tier. Into absolute top of the line and can box even Devil Dinosaur, who's considered insanely one of the best Vanguards right now. And Rogue is just like, yeah, let me scrap with the Dino. I'm ready to get down. Like, it is literally insane, the power that it literally is summoned just from letting Gambit through. You can't let that happen again.
You want to know the scariest part, Liger? You want to know the scariest part? Reject didn't even play Loki. They could have doubled up, but they didn't. It wasn't even a double flush situation. They were like, no, one flush is all we need, and the Burgers have been passed. It wasn't close here on Krakoa. Lastro getting that MVP with 10 final hits on the Luna Snow, and like a lot of that coming off of those freezes onto Navoy, who was trying to go for the flanks there, and a fair bit of damage from the Self Snowflake. This is what Luna Snow is all about. Look at the damage numbers, 10k damage versus 14k healing. Like, we're almost kind of at like an equivalence there. That's what can happen when you start to get this Luna Snow off the leash, when she's not feeling the pressure, when she's not having to patty cake with her other strategist. And Sunghun, you know, was definitely happy to patty cake if needed, but again, not needed. Lastro can just skate around on his ice skates with his own Self Snowflake in his lane, farm up the damage, farm up the ultimates, freeze Navoy anytime he tries to put a stop to the dance party, and they just keep going.
Let's address the elephant in the room. You mentioned it earlier, Loki. Why aren't the Burgers playing Loki? Why don't they can steal the Gambit ult? They can use it too. They can build around it. If that seems to be the case, if teams are getting one-sided Gambit and it's being let through, at a certain point you got to at least have that Loki ready on counter. I would have suspected not the case. Maybe teams that do get one-sided Gambit immediately ban out the Loki. So as you said, they don't need the Loki themselves. They'd rather be one Gambit ult than let themselves have two and the opposing team have one. But at the same time, it's just there. There's a missing element. They did have Black Cat, they did have the Dino, they did have the Rocket, but even those three still do not rival Gambit right now. And it's statistically looking like that.
Yeah, and I think like we said before, the numbers don't lie, and statistically speaking, Gambit is still the top dog. You cannot let him through again, no matter what you think is more important to ban. He has got to be at the top of the pecking order. You just simply cannot beat the heart of the cards, all right? You've seen Yu-Gi-Oh! You know exactly how OP it is. This is the same story, and hopefully this next chapter in this story tells a different story, but we will have that next chapter right on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Maximum pulse!
You made me angry. We are undefeatable!
Welcome back, rivals! It's time for Ignite Stage 1 at Pacific Asia here, and we have started off with a banger reject, taking on the Burgers here, and they came out swinging, didn't they, Liger?
Absolutely went out to the kitchen, absolutely took them down to size, chopped them up, and served them back to the rest of us. And we're looking at them, we're like, guys, got to send you back, got to get something good out of this recipe. First of all, the most important ingredient is Gambit. No. Cannot let Gambit through.
He asked for no Gambit. Please get him like, do not include Gambit in my burger.
Had enough, all right? I want Cajun spice, not the man, not the Cajun man right now, okay? We gotta be careful here. This is, look, I understand where the sentiment came from. Let's actually break that down. They did get the Rocket, they did get the Black Hat, and the Dino one-sided in cost of Gambit. And they didn't bring the Loki. I think if you're gonna ever take that risk, you need to build around Loki. You need to be able to get that Loki so that you also have the Gambit. And what's the best way to even lock that in? If you can get one-sided Loki, if they get one-sided Gambit, it means both teams will both have Rage and Royal Flush equally. That might be the move. That's probably the only theory I want to see tested ever again.
But
otherwise,
even then,
I'm gonna
like,
crash it on behalf of Dan.
even then, if it becomes like a game of hide and seek, like the Loki's got to go try and find where the Gambit is in the backline just to even make it happen, and that's too big of a risk. I think. I think the easier solution here, it's like, the most obvious one. Just simply do not let the Gambit through. If you're not that guy. You are not that guy. If you're not that guy, then you are not going to beat a one-sided Gambit. You have to try and change the calculus a little bit. And maybe that was their way of trying to throw a Hail Mary, try and change things up, throw a curveball, maybe see if they can play something off kilter, off meta, make something happen. And you can already see that coming out from the Burgers. They like to play things like the Thor, but it just doesn't work out against a one-sided Gambit. Like, it just doesn't happen. And, speaking of things that do or do not happen, there's something that we've seen happening quite a fair bit for the, what's it now, fourth time just today, Liger? We're going to Museum of Contemplation.
We don't need to see the map selection screen anymore, guys. It's pretty obvious where we're going. We don't need this anymore. Listen, Matsy, what's the age-old quote? If you can't beat him, ban him.
Take a Museum of Contemplation.
No, it's ban him. It's ban him. We're changing the quote today. All right, we need to ban the Gambit. Come on.
Yeah, I think the best day for Liger would be if Museum was removed entirely from the time stream. I think that would be... You can see already.
Eyes got real wide at that one.
Yeah, yep. Just wide as anything. Dopamine levels at an all-time high there. See you later, Museum. We're going to another map now. We're going to the TVA. Maybe we need to take this to their complaints hotline, Liger.
Listen, we're going to take it to the hotline. We're going to take it straight to the Baxter building. I miss Midtown. But nonetheless, everybody get ready because it's time. It's game time between Reject and Burgers. Here we go. This is going to be fun. This is going to be good. Okay, Gambit first ban. Reject can't play Gambit. Good job, Burgers. Burgers can't play Gambit. Good job, Reject. We're in the money, everybody. Lock in for map 2.
Yeah, there's some mistakes you just don't make twice, and that's one of them. Unfortunately, that does mean that they're gonna have to give up that Rocket Raccoon, and that's totally fine. Let's see if Reject are gonna be able to get that through on the Protect side, or if the Burgers are gonna use one of these bans to try and make sure that neither team gets access to the Rocket. And there we go. You just see, like, when it comes to the top teams in the region, like, you see just how high in the pecking order that Rocket is prioritized.
You know, I'm actually gonna be really honest. Like, as good as Gambit is, I'm more terrified from the Rogue. I'm genuinely... Gargoyle's Rogue has been consistent for multiple stages of Ignite. Multiple. So to see a sort of situation where this is definitely the one team you never want to let get Gambit, because they have a Rogue specialist. Similar to TLC across the sea, they have that as well. So you got to be very careful how that's all played out.
Like, a good Rogue player is a rarity among Vanguard players, because she, like, kind of comes and goes in waves in the metas, and it's usually only when she's paired up with that Gambit. Like, what are all the tier lists saying? Like, people are making tier lists where they're like, all right, we got 2 separate tiers for Rogue. She is C tier normally, but S tier if you're able to get Gambit through the ban phase. And with that team up, she's just too much to deal with. Unfortunately, Gargoyle, my friend, you are going to have to swap to something a little bit more honest, a little bit less heartbreaking, but I can imagine your heart is not going to be all that broken, as you've managed to cure a one-sided Black Cat for Yaki, and if you thought he was dangerous on the Daredevil, you ain't seen nothing yet.
All the difference.
I mean, at this point, I would probably ban Lastro's Luna. Let's talk about it. That is a Luna Snow right there. Flank Luna, living up to the name. But I will see. RF's also got the Luna. A lot of opportunity available. Scrappy out here, yelling on the Venom. Could see a little bit of mirror dino action, as both teams did protect the Devil Dinosaur. Black Cat's going to be one side, as you said, for Yaki. That's a recap of the ban phase, everybody.
Four, three, two, one.
There you are, you cheeky git.
That definitely helps. Better stop that vehicle.
Yes, indeed. We will have to get back into the action right there. The moment everybody's waiting for, seeing if the boy can get that. Ooh, the pop quiz is going off right there. You got to be very careful. Laser's going in. Piggy gets grabbed. A bit of a crunch coming out from Vet right there into the action. The Burger's going in. Trying to get the value, trying to get the power. Then, of course, Devil Dinosaurs charging at each other. A bit of sustain in the back line. We've got to be very careful. Yaki swinging the... Ooh, the claws are going right there. Sungun as well, taking out Vet. That's power. That's presence. Brownie on the Elsa. They do get a good fighting for Reject as they send the Burgers back to spawn.
And they even gave them space. Like I said, like, Reject were playing so far back that the Burgers, like, it just weren't... Like, you could kind of expect the fight to come to you around this first corner, but it wasn't there. They're able to get a little bit of car progress, but once Reject start to clamp down and start to take those fights, Burgers just don't really know what to do. Like, they're kind of all over the place. I do like this Dead pool, but it's a strat pool rather than a van pool that's coming out from Navoy. Burgers, again, trying to play something off kilter, but it's just not working because Lastro is just running riot on this Luna Snow, and even the God of Thunder is not going to be enough to put this aim god down.
I am ready to
We indeed, as we see Lastro finally put on a show. We're going to start dancing with Luna Snow in the house tonight in the Museum of Contemplation. You got to be very careful, as the night at the museum can be very dangerous if you don't look up in the skies, because the thunder's coming down right there. Big Thor coming out from Scrappy. We're going to see more of that thunder. We're going to see more indeed, but Boxes to a corner. Mione is going to try to help them escape. Wounds is getting the value. Oh, Gargoyle in the backline. The Venom getting the value as well. Wounds, however, does shred. Take out Piggy. Nullifying that Devil Dinosaur right there. Reject in a bit of a tough position here as the Bug is finally getting a bit of momentum as the wheels on the bus do definitely move around and down they go. Into the mix of it all, Wounds does retreat and escape from that little tight corridor, but in and out again. Gargoyle really just disrupting the background of the Burgers.
But like as the cart slowly re-rounds that second corner there, it's where Reject have the ultimate to be able to try and contest here. Devil Beast Rampage coming out from bed and a good chomp onto Piggy to displace him, but Lastro with the headshots and the freeze and the damage again is just putting it all in there. Nice little charm as well to help heal up the team, taking a break from being the sole source of damage from Reject in order to try and keep the rest of the team alive. It's going to be that Lartrox coming out, scooping up some of the members of the Burgers and bringing them back on a silver platter to this lethal backline, and Yaki going into the enemy backline, not letting Wounds get away, and there is a nice little two-piece taking down Navoy as well, and Burgers with less than a minute to go, and Scrappy in unfriendly territory will be met with a very unfriendly welcome from Brownie. Possibly a portal play gonna have to come out here before long, as 48 seconds and ticking, and Burgers are making some swaps.
Here we go, everybody, make it happen for yourselves. Be very careful, even though we don't see much of her these days. Elsa's still primal, she's still strong, she's still definitely a force to be reckoned with. Gotta be very careful, and Brownie does have done on long, because we saw plenty of it preseason, but to the mix, RF again with the big snipes on Luna, taking out Yaki, denying right now. I gotta say, Luna kind of adding to the roster against Black Cat right there. Gotta be very careful. Luna really is the one that can handle it. Speaking of Luna, we got the dance coming out from Lastro. Piggy hits the Rampage. Gargoyle as well with the Abyss. Gargoyle with a double KO coming out from the Abyss, taking out Hypolica and RF. That is prime, that is clean, that is power. That is the moment as Piggy is there to follow up and keep on stomping through Sungun as well, taking out Wounds, denying the pressure, and the seconds are done and out. And that is a very, very strong first section hold for Reject.
About as strong as it gets, and I called out a potential portal play, but the Burgers take that fight at such a bad time that it doesn't even get the opportunity to come out, and Reject know how to stretch those limits and find those KOs at just the right moments to deny anyone able to find that from the respawn, so the contest just doesn't happen. And you were also talking a fair bit about these Luna Snows, man. Like, remember back in the day, again, like, she used to just be kind of like a heal bot. You would put the Snowflake on maybe a flanker if you want to get a little bit saucy with it, but otherwise, you just keep it on your front line, you heal them up, and you play for that fate of both worlds. No more. All right, Luna Snow is a duelist now. I said it with my chest. She can put up damage numbers higher than half the duelist roster, especially with that self-Snowflake, and especially with any kind of damage amp. You gotta be on the lookout, and with those damage numbers, it is a tall task for any flanker to get the better of that K-pop idol, and you saw that happening. RF taking down Yaki, but even that wasn't enough to alleviate the pressure, because it's just like a Hydra. You cut off one head, two more take its place. Reject never let up off the gas, and the Burgers just aren't able to get that full cap, but they do get close, so I don't know, maybe a fuller hold can come out here. We'll have to see.
We will indeed right now. Navoy, the Spider-Man? You got some Spider-Man gameplay? Okay, let's see what the Burgers want to cook with Spider-Man right now. I mean, there's not really a spot's pushing off the map here. But goes for the way back. Oh! Spider-Man versus Spider-Man. That is insane out here. What is Asia bringing to the table?
Yaki, go back in there. Swap, you just got gapped, my friend.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that, but I'm enjoying it. The boy out here in Yaki with the Spider-Man duel. We love to see it. That is the moment to the action to see. Oh, another duel. Oh, around the barrier. Yaki takes out the void.
All right, got his one. I still say that even if you lose this series, Navoy did win the honorable Spider-Man 1v1. There was a little bit of extra damage that came through onto him, so Yaki just cleaned it up. So not quite as clean, and can't cleanly get the Elim onto Wounds there, so gonna retreat back to his team. And now we're gonna take a little bit more of an honorable 6v6 fight, and well, let's make that a 5v6 as Lastro is going to cut Ved down. Lastro swapping over onto the Star-Lord, by the way. A little bit of role swapping happening across the board for Reject. We've got the Gargoyle strat line now, and Brownie on the Groot.
There it is right now. Oh, insane aim coming out from the strat. Yeah, it's a sad day for Spider-Man players when you got White Fox and there's no backline. You're not diving them. They are running your pockets right there. You got to be very careful. All right, last few minutes for Reject right now. Let's see if they can lock in this second map for the victory for themselves right now. It's a bit of a tough time for the Burgers, but the Burgers, you never give up, you never give up, you never give up, because there's still a chance, even in the midst of it all. 2 minutes 20. Let's see if Reject can make it happen. Star-Lord's going to go for the Galactic Legend in the sky. Here's the moment. Here's the action. Gargoyle's going to hit the dance a little snow right now. This team is crazy. They got roll switching from Reject right here, looking like Gen G. Let's see if they can bring more to the table. Hyperbolical goes for it as well. Kimiha Unleashed. Scrappy with the Feast of the Abyss. They're trying to hold on. The Burgers refuse to yield. They got Galatrox online if they need, but it's not going to be enough. Reject do push and claim map 2, and they take the series.
That's just the dominance that you need to see from a team like Reject. Like I said, they're in a race to the top with XOXO01, and they are not to be overtaken, and they are not to be taken lightly. But the Burgers, light work was made of them today by Reject, and this guy right here is a large part of the reason why, whether it's on the Star-Lord for a brief fleeting moment or whether it's on the Luna Snow, he was putting in the damage, he was putting in the hurting on the flankers and making sure that the backline was safe and secure, because he was that backline. He's coming out with 13k damage, and I can guarantee you maybe 3 to 4k out of that came from the Star-Lord. The rest was all Luna Snow, baby, and that's just what she is capable of doing in this meta. You gotta keep an eye. That's also why a lot of teams are prioritizing her in the picks and the bans. That's why the Burgers even went for the Protect there, but Reject just have the better read on the meta top to bottom, like you need to be if you are the top dogs in the region.
Absolutely. You got to hold the crown, and you got to show everybody that you know every single jewel that is bedazzling that crown, and that is the plan that Reject have to really unpack and show everybody they're the top dogs in the region. I do believe with this win they do slot themselves back into first over XOXO, so leaderboard's looking pretty interesting. However, of course, XOXO have a match later today. They still have time to claim that top spot back as they go into Triple AD, but before then, of course, the next matchup after this will be Loyalty versus Z10. It's a really interesting matchup. Keen to see how it unfolds. Gargoyle with the big double KOs right there on the Venom. We'd love to see it. This was a very tough one, but this is sort of how Museum Contemplation is going in Asia. It's a map that people seem to pick, and unfortunately, it leads to a very, very quick round.
I think it's one of those maps that, like, if you're a losing team, you're going to pick it because it's one of those maps where you can play anything. It's a comfort pick. It's not a we have a set strategy for this map kind of pick. It's I really hope we don't lose kind of map pick. But, you know, when the power differential is just so vast and Reject just have so many tier gaps between yourself and the Burgers, they're going to run away with this one.
Yeah, Reject rejected their attempt at a map victory there, let alone a series victory. So unfortunate for the Burgers, they're going to be sent back to the shop there. Maybe looking to put in a few more pickles in the next bout. We'll see. But I think that there was still some good moments that did come through from them. You know, I was happy to see some Spider-Man play come through. It's always a bit of fun when you see the Spidey come out, you know. Shout out to Navoy on that one. Always having a bit of prowess on some of those more melee-based duelists there. But yeah, I guess pushing forward, you know, do you think the Burgers will be able to, I guess, cultivate maybe some learnings from this matchup?
I mean, I think they learned one key thing, and they learned it right out the gate, and that is don't let Gambit through. Like you will get shellacked if you let that through, because again, like we've talked about it before, if you let the Gambit through, there's so many other things that you have to ban. You have to ban the Rogue, you have to ban the Star-Lord, you have to ban the Loki. They didn't even ban the Loki. Reject didn't even need it. They just played a single one flush Gambit and they rolled right over you. Gargoyle got to bring the Rogue out. It was a beauty to behold, and one I hope I never have to behold again.
Well, speaking of beholding things, it seems we're about to behold our interview. Ring, ring, ring. Who's it going to be? It's going to be none other than J-Mac. Welcome, welcome once again. J-Mac. It's a pleasure to have you here. And yeah, thank you so much for coming on for this one. And I guess, how's the team feeling after getting a win like that one?
We just happy, very good start this week. Yeah, we just very happy. We just good starting this week. Yeah.
That's good. That's really good to hear. And I guess moving forward, you know, is your team excited to play the OCE teams later in playoffs?
Can you say again? I didn't understand. Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah. Is the team feeling good heading into playoffs?
Playoff.
Yes, yeah.
We just only thinking Genji because only Genji can beat Reject. So we just keep thinking Genji and keep keep making planning for Genji. But other team, I think we take the very easy.
Let me talk about one of those teams. How do you feel about your match tomorrow against XOXO01?
First, I'm very surprised because also we Jet. I think they have a new player like JT3 and Pelix. I think this synergy now so very making like good performance. So, but just our player and me don't think about lose with Soso. XOXO, yeah, XOXO.
Now, what was your reaction to getting one-sided Gambit?
We can't think they just unban Gambit because Gambit is very broken character in Marvel. So
Yeah.
To put it lightly.
yeah. So nobody don't. We just can't think. Yeah, they unban Gambit. Yeah.
Do you have any advice for people who are not? Do you have any advice to give to people who don't ban Gambit? Sorry, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I guess moving to next season, do you hope that they change Gambit at all?
I really hope. Because Gambit, I remember Gambit now first ban start in just Gambit coming in Marvel. Every time he get banned first in Scream and all tournament, but still same. So I just want to Neddy's really best kick more up need more up Gambit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand. Gonna need a bit of change coming forward. We'll see if that happens in the future. Certainly gonna be hoping on my side too, but hoping to see you guys take victory again into your future games. I do want to say a big thank you for you to joining and a big shout out to the team. You guys are doing great so far, and yeah, we look forward to seeing more big wins from Reject going forward.
This is catcher or just saying?
No, thank you. All done.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you, J-Mag.